Okay, everybody, welcome tonight to the community development portion of the meeting for September 25th, 2023. IT was working diligently over the last few minutes to try to get us going here, so they told us to go ahead and roll. Two items on the agenda for this meeting, and the first one is the approval of the community development meeting minutes from September 11th, 2023. So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Oswald and seconded by Mrs. Mitchell.
Question.
Question on the motion. All in favor of the motion, please use the voting sign aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion carried. The second item is the matter of accepting a final plat for River Run Landing subdivision phase 3. I believe this, please go right ahead.
Good evening. This item is, again, accepting the final plat for the third phase of River Run Landing subdivision. This is the subdivision that is south side of Elyria, off of Middle Avenue. The first and second phases have already been approved and platted. This will be the third phase, and this section of the subdivision will be connecting eventually to the subdivision to the east of that off of Indian Hollow. Mr. Barron is here this evening if you have any questions for him.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Barron, would you like to come up and speak? Just state your name and address for the record, please.
I'm Rich Barron, 27201 Royalton Road, Columbia Station, Ohio. Really, I didn't have anything else to add other than what Kathy said, other than we did follow all of the original approvals that were given. This is property that originally was annexed into the city, so it went through a lot of different reviewing agencies for the approval.
Okay, thank you. Are there any questions from the committee? Mr. Schneider.
Chair, to Mr. Barron, how long do you anticipate before the two subdivisions will connect?
We will be right at the property line, so what happens on the east side, I really have no control of that. It's going to be in the homes.
Okay, thank you.
Are there any other questions, comments? Mr. Lippian.
Thank you through you, Mr. Chair. Unless I'm mistaken, this is what we discussed a little bit around July of last year. And I know there was some folks from the townships that came in and expressed some concerns and questions. Have those concerns been alleviated or the answers propounded to the concerned folks in the townships?
No, that
Or is
would
this
be
a different?
excuse me, but that would be the site further down Indian Hollow on
Okay.
I believe it's on the opposite side.
Good. That's what I was trying to confirm. Thank you.
Any other questions, comments from anyone on the panel? Nobody in the audience. Okay. Seeing none, then I will read the committee report. We've considered the matter of accepting a final plat for River Run Landing subdivision phase 3. This is an ordinance authorizing the approval of the said final plat. The plat was approved by the Planning Commission on September 5th, 2023 with no conditions. Could I get a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Schneider, seconded by Mrs. Mitchell.
Question.
Question on the motion. All those in favor of the motion, please use the voting sign aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion carried. At this time, I'd ask Mr. Stewart to please call finance.
I'll call finance to order.
Thank you, Mr. Stewart. We have two items on the agenda for finance and community development.
Mr. Chair, I meant to intercede with there. Mr. Sierra had called me earlier last week and let me know that he would not be here for this meeting. So just for the record.
Great. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Stewart. Two items. First one is the approval of the joint meeting minutes from August 28th, 2023.
Second.
Motion made by Mrs. Mitchell, seconded by Mr. Oswald.
Question.
Question on the motion. All in favor of the motion, please use the voting sign aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion carried. Okay, item 2 is the matter of a review and approval of an enterprise zone tax abatement with NBN Powder Packaging LLC at 955 Taylor Street. Dawn?
Thank you. Through you, Mr. Chairman. We are requesting an enterprise zone tax abatement for an expansion of NBN powder packaging at Taylor Street. It is a 15,000 square foot expansion with a minimum budget of $700,000. We are requesting a 10-year, 75% abatement. There will be a minimum of 5 new jobs created as a result of this expansion, and it will be completed tentatively in January 2024, assuming there's no weather delays and that kind of thing. So it is a fast track project. I invited Andrew Newshafer to be here tonight. He's one of the owners of NBN Powder Packaging to tell you a little bit about their business and the project itself. And so with that, I'll invite him up.
Please state your name and address of the business for the record.
Thank you very much. My name is Andrew Newshafer. Address of NBN is 955 Taylor Street. A little bit about us, my father and I, Lance Newshafer. We started the company back in 2010. And we have grown from just us to right now, I believe we have about 27 full-time people. We occupy 955. We actually purchased it in 2018. We have expanded in the last few years quite rapidly. And we are in need of more space. So we are looking at adding a 15,000 square foot addition to the building in order to serve our warehousing needs. A little bit about what we do. We are a toller in the chemical industry. So we work with chemical companies around the world and provide services to them. So we don't actually own the products they do, but we work with the likes of BASF and Dow and PPG, et cetera. We take their materials, we process them however they need. I'm not going to bore you with the details. And that is expanding and growing. And like Don said, we will be adding at least 5 jobs with probably adding more, significantly more in the future.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Any questions? I see Mr. Oswald.
I just want to make a comment. I know the new Schaefer's are a lifelong residents of Elyria. I'm glad that they found a niche in what they do. Not too many people understand what they've done or do, but they've turned it into a great business. And I'm glad that they're reinvesting in the city of Elyria and employees. So I just want to commend you guys. Thank you very much. You've done a great job. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay. Mr. Lippian.
Thank you through you, Mr. Chair. I just want to echo that. Andrew, great name, by the way. I've gotten a chance to tour NBN Powder Packaging, and if you haven't, I highly recommend it. It's a wonderful facility. It's clean. And the fact that you're expanding and growing in Elyria and adding, I see a resultant $250,000 of new annual payroll to the city of Elyria as evidence not only to your work ethic and your ingenuity as entrepreneurs, but also to your belief and investment in Elyria. And thank you for it, and keep going strong. Keep knocking it out of the park. We're proud of you, and we're proud that you're a Ward 1 business.
Well, thank you very much. Are there any other questions or comment? Well, I will also echo the comments of Mr. Oswald, and Mr. Lippian. Congratulations, sticking to it, growing this business over the years. Anything to grow a business in town, and you guys have stayed true to Elyria, and everybody appreciates that. So thank you very much. Appreciate the kind words. Okay, you're welcome. Keep up the good work. Thank you. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and read the committee report. We have considered the matter of an enterprise zone tax agreement, abatement agreement with NBN Powder Packaging LLC located at 955 Taylor Street. This is an ordinance authorizing the mayor to enter into the said enterprise zone agreement. Can I get a motion for community development?
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Lippian and seconded by Mr. Schneider. Question on the motion. All in favor of the motion, please use the voting sign aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion carried.
So moved.
Second.
Second by Ms. Davis. Any further discussion?
Question.
All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay.
I see no further business for community development, so I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Motion made by Mr. Oswald, seconded by Mr. Schneider. Question on the motion. All in favor of the motion, please use voting sign aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion carried.
Through you, Mr. Chair, I just want to remind everyone up here that we're still on the record. Thank you. We're still on the record. For those of you who are having sad conversations. I just wanted to point that out.
We're going to continue. President of the Jazz and approve of the finance meeting minutes for September 11th, 2023. Can I get a motion? So moved by Mr. Schneider, second by Ms. Davis. Is there any further discussion? Discussion, all those in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carried. Second item on the agenda. Consider the matter of amending ordinance number 2023-8 to change the type of truck from an F 550 to an F 250 for the wastewater pitch control plant. The F 550 truck is not available. Can I get a motion to get it on the floor? So moved by Ms. Davis, second by Mr. Schneider. Mr. Corzine.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just as you read, the F-550 trucks are not available, so we're looking to substitute for F-250. And I'll answer any questions you might have.
They're just not making them anymore. Am I just not?
I know,
Available.
they can't quote on state bid or anything if they can't place orders for them, but they can't get them right now. This money's been available since January, and both myself, my mechanic Jim Flood, and also the fleet manager Joe Strogat's been reaching out for quotes all year long, and we haven't been able to get them.
Okay, Mr. Schleck, do you want to add to that?
Yes, through you. We ordered a 550 24 months ago and just received it. And they said we were lucky to get it because if we would have waited another 90 days, they would not honor any pre-orders. So 550s are like gold today. You just can't get them, or 650 as well, any of the bigger trucks.
Right, very good. Thank you. Is there any other further discussion?
For you, Mr. Chair, and
Mr. Deere, Ms. Theory?
thank you. And my understanding is that the amount that was previously appropriated will cover that as well. Is that correct?
Yes, through you, Mr. Chair, yes, the amount originally appropriated will cover.
Very good. Is there any further discussion?
Question.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, nay. Motion carried. Item number 3. We've considered the matter of the purchase of a leaf vac truck at the cost of not to exceed $145,000. Is to be paid out of the 2016 0.5% income tax fund.
An Ohio EPA recycling grant was awarded to the city in the amount of $100,000 and will be used to offset to the purchase price. So this is an ordinance authorizing mayor to enter and set agreement for the purchase of said vehicle. Can I get a motion to get it on the floor?
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Schneider,
Second.
second by Ms. Davis. Assistant Safety Service Director, Mr. Williams.
Yes, through you, Chair. Yes, so this is we received a grant for $100,000. The actual projected amount is $125,000. But what we've experienced is because of the delay of the vehicles, by the time it gets in, the price has gone up. So again, the projected price was $125,000. We have a reimbursement grant for $100,000 of that amount, which the city has been awarded. But after conversations just with Mr. Strozak and looking at some of these prices, we gave ourselves a little bit of room and actually with finance so that we have a little bit of cushion. So that's why it's the $145,000 amount that is a request.
Where's this coming for, Mr. Williams? Like what department is it going for? Leave?
Yes, it's the sanitation.
Sanitation?
Yes.
Is there any further discussion in regards to this, Mr. Oswald?
Through you, Mr. President, and just a question. So when you say a leaf blower back, does this include like the truck and the blower all together? So it's all one unit, or is it just a truck to pull the blower?
No, this is the complete system.
It's what the whole
It's a
thing.
complete system. Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Ms. Davis?
Through you, Chair. Mr. Williams,
Yes,
is
ma'am.
this truck also can you convert it over for snow removal also?
I'm not sure about this one. I know the next item does because it is a dump truck with attachments. I couldn't speak specifically to what this truck's versatility is. Sorry.
Mr. Pulaski?
Through you, Mr. Chair. So when we do receive the grant money, I will receipt that in the 2016 0.5% income tax fund. So the entire purchase cost will come out of that fund, but 100,000 will go back and reimburse it.
Right. Any other questions? Call for the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye, opposed nay. Motion carried. Mr. Williams, does this need to be an emergency?
No, sir.
No, okay, very good. Item number 4. We've considered the matter of the purchase of a dump truck at a cost of not to exceed $80,000 and is to be paid out of the 2016 0.5% income tax. The total project cost is not to exceed $135,000, of which an Ohio EPA recycling grant was awarded to the city in the amount of $96,150 and will be used to offset the cost of the leaf vac truck. So is this a leaf vac truck or is this a dump truck?
So it is a leaf vac truck. But it's a dump truck is the last piece that we have to get. We actually have already purchased the other two parts of the apparatus. And this is the one outstanding piece. We initially priced this at $60,000. This is 2022. And the latest quote that we have now is 71,000. So it's already almost $12,000 more. And anticipated could be by the time we get it, another $10,000 higher. So this is just for the truck. The other portions, I think it was $12,000 for a fabrication portion and $48,000 for the box has been purchased already.
So with that being said, I just wanted to ask because I was just confused about the leaf truck that it has a dump truck. So then you iterated there. So can I get a motion to get it on the floor?
So moved.
Moved by Ms. Davis, second by Mr. Schneider. Law Director Gear, you want to weigh in on? Right. So so the appropriated amount, just so it's clarity, is 80,000.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So $80,000 is what is being asked before this committee. Is there any further discussion? Ms. Mitchell?
Thank you, Mr. Chair, through you. Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay, Ms. Mitchell, go ahead.
So it's $80,000 that's being asked, but there's a grant for 96,000.
Yes, so this goes, if I could, through you, Chair, this goes back to 2022. And the leaf vac truck, the apparatus has three parts to it. There is the box, and then there's another fabricated portion of it. Earlier in 22, the other two portions were already purchased with purchase orders. And so the outstanding component was the actual dump truck portion of it. And what transpired recently is Mr. Strozak oftentimes goes out to Mike Bass or Nick Abraham or whoever, and they came across a dump truck, a 250, that would have met the need, but it hadn't been appropriated. And so by the time we got through this motion process, the truck was gone. So that's what we're running into, is we couldn't order the truck, but he saw one on the lot. So this will allow us, if that opportunity occurs again, to get the truck. Also, they just now opened up the ordering process. So before we couldn't even get a quote because the orders were closed. We've been asking for extensions on the grant because the grant award, we have to keep asking because it was closing so that we can stay in the window. So we're kind of at a place where we can place the order now, and the order is ready to be placed once we have the appropriation. So it is for $80,000.
Finance Director Pulaski?
Through you to the law director, if these ordinances are not passed on an emergency basis, it takes 30 days for the ordinance to go into effect.
That's correct.
You aware of that?
Yes.
So you're
So
okay?
on this one, I would like this one to be on the emergency. The other one, we're not even in the window. This recent grant was awarded in August. So I don't even know if that portal has opened yet, honestly.
Okay, does the motion concur? Does the second? On the emergency. Is there any further discussion? Ms. Davis?
Through you, Chair. So are we looking at a new truck 2022 or are we looking at a new 2023?
It's a new truck. The grant award was in 2022.
So we'll get a new 2022.
No, we're getting a new truck,
Oh, a new truck.
but the award took place in 2022.
Oh, okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Mitchell?
Thank you, Mr. Chair, through you. So the grant is still active, Mr. Williams?
Yes, ma'am.
And after that grant is approved, that money will be put back into issue 6 fund?
Yes, what happens is these are reimbursements. Once we provide proof of purchase, they will then reimburse the money to us.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Law Director Derry?
Through you, Mr. Chair, will either Safety Service Director's Office or Mr. Strozak be able to supply the specifics of the as to the type of dump truck for purposes of drawing up the legislation?
Yes,
Okay.
and I have that.
Okay. Yeah, if that could be, assuming this passes, if that could be forwarded to my office as soon as possible, that'll be really helpful.
Very good. Is there any further discussion?
Question.
All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye, opposed nay. Motion carried. Item number 5. We consider the matter of the renewal of the city's insurance contracts for general liability, property, auto and law enforcement liability, public officials management liability, employment practices liability, umbrella excess liability, contractor pollution liability, equipment breakdown, cyber liability, and crime insurance. This is an ordinance authorizing the mayor to enter in said insurance contracts for the said insurance policies. Could I get a motion to get it on the floor?
So moved.
Moved by Ms. Davis, second by Mr. Schneider. Safety Service Director Lundy.
I was gonna say, I think the only thing we don't have is rain insurance. So I think we pretty much covered everything, but it's that time of year again as part of our annual agreement renewal with Gallagher. And wanted to make sure that we kind of explain it. This is always a very lengthy process each year. I want to really commend members of our team for everything they did gathering the information. I mean, literally having to provide Gallagher with location of our buildings, square footage. I think we listed the Excel sheet about 144 different properties. I mean, that could be anything from the fire stations to the lift stations, the pool barns, water towers, you name it. So everybody did a great job on that. And I see Terry Corzan here. He always does an awesome job. His was very thorough, his list that we had to provide to Gallagher as we went through this process. Also having to provide our automobile schedule, certainly any heavy equipment that we have, we provided to Gallagher. Driver's list, which was really critical to be able to provide as well too. And I will tell you, just as we always know in the marketplace, that there are things that obviously are major exposure changes for us. Those, I guess you could say, if you own real estate, is on the good side. Property value increase, from $220 million now to over $255 million. That's a 16% increase itself. The various budgeted expenditures have increased by 10%. And our vehicle count is also up as well too. So those items had an impact. Obviously, we live in a new world. So cybersecurity is obviously something that we want to make sure that we are buttoned up on. We made sure that IT took an extensive look at that. They want to know what our internal financial controls are so that we can make sure that we don't have issues with fraud. We know we're in good hands with Ted's office and John over there. So this is our annual renewal with Gallagher, our risk management company.
Any questions for Mr. Lundy? Question has been called. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried. Thanks. Item number 6. We consider the matter of renewal of the yard waste facility agreement with Barnes Nursery. In order to authorize the mayor to enter a renewal agreement with Barnes Nursery for the said attached facility. Can I get a motion to get it on the floor? Moved by Mr. Schneider. Second by Mr. Tolet. Safety Service Director Lundy.
Sure, this is so that we can renew our agreement with Barnes Nursery. They've really been great people to work with. Hopefully you've had good responses from your constituents as well too. We first entered into an agreement with them. I think it's a total of 9 years now, going back to 2014. Obviously, it makes it possible for our chipper trucks to drop off materials there, along with the leaf back trucks, being able to drop everything off for composting purposes. The residents obviously are able to drop off the grass clippings, leaves as well too, which they're able to do for free. Everybody gets residents get a reduced price that they end up actually acquiring some mulch, but I understand it's pretty close to dirt cheap to do that. This company is basically paid through a weekly fee that we provide to them for different periods of time. April, May, and June, that weekly fee is around $24.25. And then for the months of July, August, September, and October, $2,025 is the weekly rate there.
the company, I think, has done a really, really good job. And I know I talked with our street department, I talked with sanitation, anybody in our department or in our city rather, has been working with them. They've been very happy with them. And so that's why we brought this before you for renewing the lease. So the questions in regards to this thing back here. No. All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye, opposed, no. That's okay. And number 7. Consider the matter of amendment in the 2023 appropriations. An ordinance authorizing the amendment of the ordinance 2023-34 for that program is putting attached. I get a motion to the floor. Moved by Ms. Davis, second by Mr. Schrader, by Inspector Plesky.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. There's one this evening, and that will be in the 2016 1.5% income tax fund in the capital needs department. That is $225,000 the capital outlay, and that would be for the purchase of the leaf back truck and the dump truck that we discussed earlier. And as I mentioned, the grant money will go back into that fund when we get it.
Mr. Tolet, just a quick question. When the grant money comes back, do we make another appropriation change then when when it becomes a credit?
You don't have to, if you don't, if we appropriate, it goes into next year's beginning cash balance and be able to appropriate it next year.
Okay, thank you.
Is there any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye, opposed, nay. Motion carried. Saying there's no further business to come before this committee, I entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
It's moved by Ms. Davis, second by Mr. Schneider. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye, opposed, nay. Motion carried. Thank you.